What up guys, this is Limitz. I hope you liked the intro. I've been kind of toying around with different intros, so hopefully that catches some eyes, and I hope you guys liked it. If you didn't, I don't know, leave a comment. Anyways, the matchup here is going to be Anders Arby against Arby Brute. I'm playing with LIMITZOFFSTATE, and this game is against Velocity and Mimi. This is an older game. You can probably recognize that by their gamer tags. I do have a couple recent videos, but I kind of want to push out the older videos first before I get to the recent videos. And I'm sorry that my past few uploads have not been that great. Steven kind of sucks at ones. I know somebody left a comment about that and it got a lot of thumbs up. So anyways, we Pelican on this map, and we probably shouldn't have, because we could have easily just faked it and still gotten the hooks. My ghost did take a beating right here trying to get these hooks. He was unresponsive, followed the chopper, and I'm not going to be able to get the other side. If we would have gotten both sides, we probably would have been in a good position to play defense and nullified the leader disadvantage we are at. But since we split hooks and we had to Pelican for one side, we're still at a pretty big disadvantage. And you're not really going to see how the Covenant players split those hooks over there. I assume that they did split. You kind of get a glimpse of it at the end of the video, but I did see red over there, so I know that red did take a hook no matter what.
What is needed? Point the way.
And the objective here that LIMITZOFFSTATE and I are going to be doing is basically I play defense, he plays offense. And that's kind of how we like to run our Anders Arby. Just a little bit of communication with offense, defense. And right away, Livin got his hogs caught on the minimap, you could see that, which is not good. So that really puts us in a jam early game. We're already at a leader disadvantage. I know I said leader disadvantage 3 times, I can't stress that enough for this matchup. Anything double Covenant really destroys an Anders Covenant combo. But they're playing this right, they're hitting the Anders, and that's going to really slow down the Anders' ability to get Goss. And if they're able to get out a lot of units before we're able to get Goss, or a lot of hog numbers, we'll eventually just get overran. And as you can see, Velocity comes straight up on offense after he caught Livin's hogs. Livin does have 1 or 2 hogs right now, and he's kind of just harassing the Brute Chieftain. But with 1 or 2 hogs, you're really not able to do much. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to push an early Citadel. This is something I like to do when I play defense. Especially when you're going up against a Brute, if you get an early summit up and just start pumping Banshees, it forces the Chieftain to Vortex.
Citadel upgrade complete.
What this also does is, if they're good Covenant players, in the fog of war they'll click my base and they'll see that I'm on a Citadel and they need to stop whatever's coming up on my base. You're going to see Velocity go ahead and go straight over to my base once he realizes that it's Citadel.
On the way, I am chosen. Warehouse upgraded.
And the beautiful thing about Citadel is that when you have your 2 front pads that need to be stopped, if you build a suicide grunt, it's really easy to grunt a leader in that position. Once again, I'm just going to be raging down the grunts here. Looks like the Chieftain did a Hull Brute Rush, but since Livin's over there, he's doing, I guess, an effective job with like literally 3 hogs. He doesn't have like anything over there, but he's actually doing an effective job. I'm just going to kind of keep following the Chieftain. And I'm kind of playing defense on 2 bases right here. It's a little tricky to do. Get a nice grunt into Velocity.
Honor. Let me go.
And Livin right here was complaining that he didn't have money to get techs or anything, so I told him to destroy his barracks. That's what I did when I flared it over there.
Warehouse complete. Local units.
And I'm not going to be able to get velocity really with any more grunts, but I am going to be able to kind of jam him up, stall him, make him at least be wary that I have grunts coming out of my base.
Local units.
And instead of trying to get a summit up or anything because it's just going to get stopped, I'm going to get another warehouse up. And partially this is to kind of boost my eco later, and I'm kind of expecting to lose some more supply pads. As you can see, Mimi started building some hunters because Livin's starting to amass a bit of gunner over at his base.
I am here. Local units.
Okie dokie. Over there.
And I successfully fended off both these leaders pretty much by myself,
What shall I do? Local
simultaneously just going back and forth between bases.
Honor.
And we don't really know where the Arbiter is at right
All
now.
units.
That's really not a good thing. You kind of want to always keep your eyes on the Arbiter in 2v2. So Livin is in danger, and once again he gets his hogs caught.
All units.
So we're actually not in that bad of a situation here,
Warehouse.
simply because the Arbiter, in my opinion, built way too many grunts, and he wasn't very effective on my base with them,
Let me go.
although he was on Livin's. And also, Velocity caught some hogs, but he doesn't really have the economy probably to build any units at this point.
Let me go.
And we successfully defended both these leaders off Livin.
What is needed?
And as you can see, Mimi is just getting his summits up, and I have the economy and the build to basically go straight into vampires with this.
I will.
As you can see right here, Livin is getting his field armory up. He has Gauss Tech. We just kind of have to worry about getting Livin more bases, simply because the station isn't very strong. But we're not too concerned, I would say, simply because, as you can see, they just have summits up. They're just getting them up. They don't have really any units.
Point the way.
You can see one Banshee boosting over right now. Instead of me trying to deny any summits, I think it's just a safer bet for me to go straight into Tech 2, so that's exactly what I'm going to do this game.
Summit complete.
And I figure that Velocity's probably just going to get his leader back out before we can do a significant amount of offensive damage. So what we're going to do here is Livin's going to be running around my base with his Gauss Hogs, and that's simply just to play some defense on the Banshees.
Point the way.
And I'm going to get my vampires out slowly but surely. And instead of recalling my Arbiter, I'm just going to walk him all the way back. What we're going to plan on doing here is my Arbiter will take out the base to my left, and the Gauss Hogs will take out the base to Livin's right, and then my vampires will run around the map and kind of just be on Banshee patrol.
Ready.
And what we're doing here is we're opening up bases on the map, simply giving Livin possibility to expand, and it forces the Covenant's Banshees to be boosting all over and keeping a solid eye on the map.
Local units.
And if there's vampires and Gauss, those are just two counters to Banshees, and I also have an Arbiter, so we should be able to keep a pretty good containment on the Banshees. Unfortunately, once again, Velocity is going to be looking for Livin's hogs, and Livin does a good job of hiding them, but then he kind of runs right into the Arbiter, and he's going to get caught again.
All units. I am here.
I am getting a pretty solid amount of vampires out though for my position,
What is needed? All units.
and that's going to give me the ability to rage myself.
Let me go. Local units. Warehouse upgraded. All units. Forward. On the way. All units.
Once again, Red just has a few, it looks like brutes or grunts that he doesn't need anymore. Maybe we kill his chieftain prior to him getting them across through his teleport. So,
As you wish.
probably just walked them up.
I will. All units.
Now, since I have the air pretty much won. I'm going to kind of just play defensively with them. I could play offensive with them, but I don't want them to know where my vampires are, simply because then they'll just boost over and try and stop an expo, or try and drop my summits, and I don't have enough to split.
What shall I do?
All units.
Orders. Move up. Attacking.
All units.
We're moving.
All units.
Repositioning.
And once again, my Arbiter is just going to be clearing out the base next to me.
All
Not
units.
much else to it. And instead of double pumping
Vicious
vampires, I'm
flames.
just going to be single pumping them. If there's one thing I could have done better this game, I probably could have blessed my last warehouse. I don't, because I don't know if I'm going to be going into a double pump or not. Livin just kind of turrets up, and we basically just have to play defense until we get enough hog numbers.
I am here. What is needed?
As you can see, velocity is right on top of the expansion. Livin's going to go ahead and debomb that and kill this Arbiter, or at least get the Arbiter to go.
All units.
And we are successful at that, and Livin is now able to plant his base.
All units.
And I'm going to send all my vampires over here just in case they try and boost and stop this while Livin pushes.
I will. What shall I do?
Local units.
Honor.
And right here I'm going to be clicking Livin. That is simply just so he can triple base.
All units.
Moving there. Let me go.
And once he gets his triple base going, the game's pretty much over, because even if the Arbiter will be able to catch his hogs, there's no way that they're going to be able to effectively keep the Gauss numbers low. They can build Wraiths
Vampire.
or Hunters, but then I have an Arbiter right here that I can just basically rage everything a Covenant player can build down effectively. And I'm going to be sending my Arbiter up on the offensive with Livin, as we see that Mimi is starting to get vampires himself. And when double Covenant has to build vampires, they're pretty much in trouble. They're trying to go Wraith and Vampire, as you can see right here.
Point the way. Honor.
And there's Velocity's Wraiths. I have a Starberber, and with the Starberber, Wraiths are not a problem. They're not even a problem if I don't have a Starberber. If I just have an Arbiter, then I'll still be able to effectively rage down Wraiths, whatever tech they are. Even if they're tech 2, it doesn't really matter. We see that he is trying to rebuild his Arbiter, so we are going to simply target down this temple.
Out of resources. Power terminated.
And I probably should have
All units.
reset my rally point. I had some vampires coming in, so I lost a few vampires that I shouldn't have. But vampires alone cannot even stop Gauss. Even if he had banshees, they'd still be kind of in a bad position right here. And so he does start to mix in some vampires and banshees.
As you say, I am chosen.
Velocity's trying to get a shield up on his base, but I'm going to continue to just sit here and rage. The game's pretty much over. They're just kind of dragging it out. Livin's going to be clicking me. He is on a triple base. So that's going to basically wrap up this game. You'll see that Mimi starts to incorporate some banshees with his vampires, but that's really not going to make a difference because we have Gauss and banshees are still ineffective.
Power terminated.
And although he does have a vampire lead, I'm going to go ahead and send my vampires in simply because we can sit Gauss underneath and take all that out. And since they don't have an Arbiter or Wraiths, there's no counter for the Gauss. So I hope you guys enjoy watching my Starberber rage this air. And if you guys want to take a look at the hook situation, at the end of the game you'll see a little bit of red over there. Once again, I don't know how they split their hooks,
All units.
but I think it would have been better if the Brute took both the hooks and the Arbiter stayed with no hooks.
We're moving.
All units.
And
Positioning.
you guys have a great
I
day.
will. Target sighted. I am chosen. What now?
All units.
Moving there. No more waiting. Point the way. What shall I do?
All units.
Move up.
All units.
Stop them in their tracks. I am here.
Your team is victorious.